origin story of the drug trade in the United States. In the early 80s, there was this terrorist organization called the Contras, whose job was to burn bridges, bomb power plants, and destroy crops so that they could starve the population of Nicaragua so that they could topple the government of Nicaragua. This group was organized and trained by the CIA under the Reagan administration, and they were facing at this point, the Reagan administration, a hostile Congress. It was hard to get money to fund terrorist organizations at the time. So they had the brilliant idea, Reagan and his friends, to uh, get weapons for the Contras by getting Iran, which was considered by the Reagan administration a terrorist state, but to ask them nicely to send weapons to the Contras so that the Contras could topple the government. And Iran said yes, but who's going to pay for this? And they cannot ask Congress for money. They don't want to ask Congress for money. So they get the brilliant idea to have the Colombian cartels under Pablo Escobar to finance the whole thing. They would send the money to Iran. Iran was going to send the weapons to the Contras. The Contras were going to topple the government, and big win for the US against communism. But why would Pablo Escobar and his people send money to Iran? Well, the U.S. gave access to the cartels to cities like L.A., Miami, and New York. Uh, why? Because they have easy access through the oceans, through the air, and through the earth and through the land. They would only be selling very cheap drugs, derivatives of cocaine like PCP, crack, so that they became highly addictive, increased the rates of crime, and only give it to Black and Hispanic populations that would then in turn fill up the jails with cheap labors for American international corporations. So big win for everyone, big win for everyone all around. When this was found out and Ronald Reagan went in front of Congress to testify about the Iran-Contra scandal, he kept saying to every question, I don't recall, I don't recall, I don't recall. And at the end of his life, he died with Alzheimer's, not recalling his life and all the horrible things he did to the world. That's how drugs came into the United States.